we changed a few things on the GoPro for video quality. So we're running HDR, we're running 4K, but for this particular ride, we changed the frames to 60 frames per second. Now, when you have the GoPro Hero12 set to HDR versus standard, you lose the ability to change your shutter speed. Now, the rule of thumb typically is, depending on what your frames per second is, you want to double that with your shutter speed. So if you're running 30 frames, you want to have a 1/60 shutter speed. In this case, because of HDR, I'm not a video guru, so I don't know too much about the video settings and how they work exactly, and how they translate to the quality you see on camera, but my guess is that HDR controls all of that for you. So we're running HDR. The other thing I noticed is when you run 4K with 60 frames, you lose the ability to shoot in SuperView. Now, it's very common for motovloggers to shoot in SuperView because of the wide angle lens. You get to capture a lot more of what's going on the road around you. So right now we're running in a wide view cam as required by the GoPro. So this is 4K, 60 frames, wide view lens with HDR turned on. Got a Rode lavalier mic set up with a dead cat that we have mounted inside the helmet on my left side here. Actually, correction, right side. We're running the Cardo GoPro Neo on the left side of the helmet, and that's that microphone's mounted inside, so that's Bluetooth to our phone right now. The GoPro is running a ND32 filter, so kind of like having sunglasses on your GoPro, kind of gives the ability to cut out some of the glare from the sun. RF 1200 helmet, GoPro Hero12, and the Cardo GoPro Neo. So this helmet right now is really set up for full multimedia, but we are running 2 microphones. So something I want to talk about real quick with that. There were rumors going around that with the GoPro Hero12 and the ability to pair Bluetooth to a Bluetooth headset, that, you know, you could use voice commands, you could record with only a single microphone, because you could use the GoPro microphone to essentially motovlog. So, does it work? Yes, technically it does work. You can motovlog with the GoPro Neo or Edge microphone, and it will record that audio footage directly into the camera when you are recording. Caveat to that: the microphone and the Cardo GoPro headset are designed to be used as intercom and communication devices, as well as listening to music, right? So the microphone and the software used to capture your audio is designed to cut out background noise, specifically engine and wind noise. So when you're on the road and you're doing motovlogs like this one, you're going to be able to hear your voice very clearly. But what it ends up sounding like, and I've tested this extensively, is it sounds like you're just dubbing your voice over a silent motorcycle video. So even though you're talking actively like I'm doing here, I am talking while I'm riding, it doesn't really sound that way. It sounds like you're recording through a very cheap microphone, sitting in your room doing a voiceover to a silent motorcycle ride video. That's what it ends up sounding like. Now, it's designed to sound that way, so this is not a bad thing. But if you're trying to get the kind of motovlog experience that many of these creators try to achieve on YouTube, one of the best ways to do it is either A, hook up with a lavalier direct connection 3.5mm or USB-C microphone, depending on whatever your camera takes, or DJI has their wireless Osmo microphone that you can wirelessly pair to the DJI Action 4 camera, and I've seen extensive videos on that, and that also does work, and it also does capture background noise, which is kind of what you want for a motovlog. The motovlog experience is supposed to be immersive, informative, educational, and entertaining all at the same time. And to do that, you kind of want to get the best of all of those worlds, capturing your motorcycle volume, your audio from your engine, and maybe some of the road noise from surrounding motorcycles, surrounding cars, really plays into that. So, does the Cardo GoPro with the Hero12 work wirelessly? Yes, it does. You do have to wait for it to pair. You have to manually pair it before your ride. There's an extensive instructional on how to do that. Then you have to turn on the camera and allow for them to pair. If you hit quick record, there's a delay between when you start recording and when the audio is actually being captured by the microphone on the Pack Talk. So for all intents and purposes, it's not 100% ideal for a motovlog setup. So while it does work, it doesn't quite do everything you want it to do the best, right? So Moto Jugs, a channel buddy of mine, a guy that I ride with, and I have been experimenting with motovlog setups here for quite a while. We've been riding motorcycles for 15 years, and I've had, this is like my 8th or 9th motorcycle, I forget, but we've done recordings in the past, but we've never done it with the intent of putting content online. And so now that we're getting more interested in the educational side of riding motorcycles, and we've done so much research of our own, we thought, okay, well, now's going to be a good time for us to take what we've learned and contribute it back into the motorcycle riding community, because there are so many people out there who are trying to do exactly what I'm doing, who you want to find the optimal video setup, the optimal audio setup, the optimal way to set up your bike, so that when you get out on the road, you can hit record and off you go. And that's kind of what we're trying to achieve here. So while my current setup is not, in my opinion, 100% optimal, it's still pretty good. The Hero12 is a great camera. The settings are have been improving over the years with GoPro, so they're top notch now. They're certainly rivaling some of the Insta360s and DJI Osmos of the world. But is it optimal for 100% peak performance? I think this actually comes in a second or third place. I've looked at a lot of videos, I've watched a lot of YouTube, as a lot of you guys probably do as well, and I've just come to realize that the DJI Action 4 is all around just a better camera for quality of life, video capture. Maybe not low light capture, but that's something I haven't really experimented with yet. Even though right now we're filming on a Hero12 because I just got it and I figured, what the heck, let's put out some footage. Ultimately, I think we're going to be switching to the DJI Action 4, and I'm pretty excited for what that's going to look like and feel like, because the Action 4 microphone is actually a USB-C. So for most lavalier mics, you'd have to get a USB-C to 3.5mm converter, plug in the USB-C converter into the camera, mic into the converter. It's just an adapter cable, really, and then the mic goes into your helmet just like it would any other time. But what I like about that setup is that USB-C is a very reliable and high transfer rate connection type, versus 3.5mm, while still being good, suffers on the Hero12 because the Hero12 requires that you use a media mod. Now in this case, obviously you're watching this video through a Hero12 Black with the media mod and a lavalier road mic. However, I've already been through another media mod because the 3.5mm port on the media mod failed and wasn't able to capture audio. Another thing I learned as a result of that is I tried using the USB-C port on the media mod to capture audio. It does not work. Completely silent. That port on this device is not meant to be used for audio capture. That was a lot to say and to talk about, but that's the takeaway here, right? So the takeaway is there are things that work and things that don't. It's an experimentation process, but one of the cool things about getting out here and doing this is I get to experiment with all these devices, all these pieces of hardware, and then I can relate all that back to the community. So you guys, when it's time for you to get out on the road, or when you're deciding on what hardware you should spend your hard-earned money on, I can help to provide some educational insight to that, because I've put in the time, I've put in the work, I've spent the money, and I've done the research. And these are the experiences that I've had. It's not just my opinion, right? These are things that have actually factually happened, so it's not like it's subjective. For the record, this video is not sponsored by GoPro or Cardo or TST Industries. These are all just brands that I've chosen to use because in my research they've seemed to check the boxes pretty well. Like I said on the camera, I'll be switching probably to the DJI, but for now the Hero12 seems to do a pretty good job. anytime I shoot in a different format, I'll make sure to include what format the video is being shot in, so that you guys don't have to worry about questioning, oh, I wonder if he was in widescreen format or if he was in SuperView, how many frames he's running. I'll do my best to include all that information each time I put out a video, to really check the camera angle on the bike, to make sure I was going to get the optimal camera angle for motovlogging. Rolled the bike out into the street, put my helmet on with the camera in the ideal motovlog position, at least what I thought was the ideal motovlog position, and then sat on the bike as if I'm about to go for a ride. And I put the GoPro into preview mode so I could see what the camera sees on my phone. And from that, I was able to determine, you know, the law of thirds, which is you want some dashboard, you want some road, down the road, you want to be able to see down the road a good ways, so that the road in the distance of the horizon is really your center point on screen, and then the sky and everything else above it is your upper third. So there's definitely an ideal way, an ideal angle to set up that front-facing camera on the helmet. At some point or another, we're going to have a camera here as well. I have a Hero12 Black at home that we're going to set up on the dashboard, on the handlebars here. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet, because today was really more about testing the 12 Black. So when we start getting more footage going, we'll have two cameras, and I can swap between the different pieces of footage, which will be good. So you guys get to see me, you'll get to see the ride, and it'll be a little bit more of an immersive experience, kind of like these guys, Cycle Cruiser and whoever else does on YouTube. But the goal for this channel is really to be mostly educational. I don't want to just ride around and have you guys watch me on the road. I really want to provide the insight that I've gathered from my time riding and share that with you guys, because I didn't get into motovlogging just for the sole purpose of making money. There's just so much information that can be taken away from doing this, especially if you really enjoy riding motorcycles. And if you love doing video content, and let's say you just have, you know, you have so much to contribute to the community, you have all these ideas, all these really cool things you've done that you want to share. Sometimes it's not just enough to take a picture and post it on something like Facebook or Instagram. Sometimes you want to really capture that experience and share it with the rest of the world. This is such a fantastic way to do that, because you can speak your mind. You might want to taper your you know, your opinions a little bit, just to be, you know, politically correct or whatever, but you got to kind of keep the cussing to a minimum so that you're not offending people online. Keep things above board, right? But at the end of the day, it's about being educational, having a good time, providing valuable insight to other people that want to do what you're doing. And guys like Yami Noob, Fastlane D, and I'm K, these guys, they do such a great job with their channels, and I've taken a lot of inspiration from these guys. And I thought to myself, you know, these guys have done such a great job with theirs. There's absolutely no reason why I can't get on a bike and share some of the insight that I've taken over the years and put it out into the universe. I saw a podcast recently. I really couldn't tell you who the host was or who the guest was. They said something I'll never forget. We're all in the stage now in our lives where it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're in the working world, you want to be able to generate a little bit more income, because sometimes the 9 to 5 just doesn't do it. But if you want to generate more income for yourself, you need to stop. You need to go from being a consumer to a producer, or a consumer to a creator, something to that effect. And that really stuck with me. And it's one of the reasons I started my small business that I have, that I operate from home. In the IT and computer world, so I have a small business doing that. The motovlog thing, while it will probably generate some income at some point, it isn't going to be something that happens anytime soon, and I'm not anticipating that it would happen tomorrow at all. So be a producer. Be a producer of information, be a producer of knowledge, produce that information and put it out into the world, man, because chances are you'll see something back from it, you know, not necessarily monetarily, but someone is going to appreciate that you took the time and effort to do the research, do the work, and put that information back out into the world. And that's kind of what we're going for here. If you have the time and you're willing to put it out there, do it, man. Stop sitting around and wondering if you should, or contemplating the best way. Like all these YouTubers say, the best way to do it is literally just to start. I had so much trouble just starting because I wanted everything to be optimal. I wanted my audio to be there, my video to be there. I wanted to make sure I had everything ironed out correctly before I put up my first video. But you know, these dudes, some of these guys have the worst video quality, worst audio quality, but the fact is they just started. They took what they had, they applied it. While some of the footage you see online might not be the absolute best, as they've worked and saved and generated more income from whatever it is they're doing, well, they were able to translate that into improving the quality of their channel. And that's really what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you want to really make sure that the quality of your footage, the quality of your audio is there, or else people are just not going to stay on your channel watching the information you're putting out. Even if what you're saying is really important and actually has merit, people don't want to watch a poor quality video, right? I really appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Thank you for coming and watching Throttle Theory. Really appreciate you guys being here and spending your time watching this channel. Like and subscribe, and feel free to make comments below if you have anything to share, any thoughts on any of the information we've covered today, because just like you guys, you know, I'm learning constantly. Literally every day I'm learning something new about a better way to do things. So if you guys have valuable insight that you could offer me on even ways to improve this channel, I'm certainly open to hearing it. So have a great day, ride safe. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys later.